Добро пожаловать! С вами Белла, и сегодня мы погружаемся в захватывающую историю. Уровень сложности A2. Вы, наверное, уже заметили мой готический стиль? Он вдохновлен атмосферой этой книги. «Призрак дома на холме» писательницы Ширли Джексон. Это культовая книга, наполненная мистикой и психологическими поворотами, так что давайте начнем наше путешествие и улучшим английский. Также можете придерживаться плана на доске. Hill House was an old, strange house. It was big and dark. Many people who lived there before had been hurt or died in strange ways. Dr. John Montague, a man who studied ghosts, wanted to learn more about Hill House. He invited 4 people to stay there, and Eleanor Vance was one of them. Eleanor didn't have a family. She was lonely and wanted to leave her old life behind. She had never been away from home before. She felt nervous, but also excited about this new adventure. Dr. Montague wanted to study the strange things happening in Hill House. He invited people who had seen strange things in their lives, and Eleanor had experienced something strange in the past, so she was invited. When Eleanor arrived at Hill House, she felt scared. The house was dark and old. It felt like the walls were watching her. She could feel that the house was alive. Dr. Montague introduced her to 2 other people staying there, Theodora, a woman who seemed strange and mysterious, and Luke, a young man who would one day own the house. Eleanor felt nervous in the house. She started feeling strange things but couldn't explain them. Sometimes, the doors opened by themselves. Sometimes, loud knocks came from the walls. One night, Eleanor and Theodora were walking outside in the garden. "Do you hear that?" Eleanor asked. Theodora listened and nodded. "It sounds like footsteps, but no one is here." Eleanor shivered. "I feel like the house is calling me, like it wants me to stay." The house seemed different in the dark. The shadows became long, and everything felt alive. Eleanor felt like it wasn't safe to leave. Strange things kept happening in the house, and Eleanor started to feel like the house wanted her to stay forever. One night, Eleanor was in her room when she heard a noise behind her. She quickly turned, but no one was there. Then, she thought she saw a tall woman with pale skin standing in front of her. Eleanor reached out to touch the woman, but she disappeared. Eleanor screamed, but no one came. The next morning, Dr. Montague spoke to everyone. "I believe this house traps people. It does not let them leave. You are not safe here." Eleanor felt the pull of the house. She felt like the house was calling to her. She wanted to leave, but something inside her told her she couldn't. "I feel strange," Eleanor said to Theodora. "It's like the house doesn't want me to leave." Theodora looked at her with wide eyes. "I feel it too, but you cannot stay. This house is dangerous. We must leave." But Eleanor didn't want to leave. She felt that the house was part of her now. One night, Eleanor woke up to hear loud noises from the walls. The sounds got louder and closer. The house seemed to be moving. The doors were banging open and shut. Eleanor ran to find Theodora and Luke. "Do you hear that?" Eleanor asked, frightened. Theodora nodded. "Yes, the house is alive. I can feel it, but we must leave now. It wants to take us." Luke tried to calm them down. "It's just the house making noise. Don't let it scare you." But Eleanor didn't listen. She could feel that the house wanted to trap her. She couldn't escape. The next night, Eleanor saw the tall woman again. "I can't leave," Eleanor whispered. "The house won't let me." Dr. Montague was worried. "You must leave, Eleanor. This house is dangerous." But Eleanor shook her head. "I can't. The house needs me. It is mine now." Dr. Montague didn't know what to do. He was shocked. The house had claimed another victim. Eleanor felt like she was becoming part of the house. She could hear it whispering her name. The next morning, Eleanor's car was found outside the house. The door was open, but Eleanor was gone. The house was quiet now. Theodora and Luke left Hill House. They never spoke about what happened inside. Сейчас повторим основные слова из текста. House. Old. Strange. Big. Dark. People. Lived. Hurt. Died. Ways. Doctor. Ghosts. Wanted. Learn. Invited. Family. Lonely. Home. Adventure. Nervous. Excited. Arrived. Scared. Walls. Alive. Introduced. Woman. Young. Man. Owner. Garden. Footsteps. Stay. Shadows. Leave. Room. Noise. Dangerous. Car. Outside. Quiet. Не забывайте подписываться, чтобы не пропустить следующие увлекательные истории. Пока-пока.